wrong headphones. 1 second. This game, man. This game was it was tough. It was tough. The Detroit Pistons lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. This was a playoff intensity game. Both teams fighting for that number 5 seed. Both wanted the win. Both teams coming in playing some of the best basketball of this season. Hot. And so this was going to be a game where teams were going to be hitting, and you were going to really see what both teams are made of. And we did. We did. But I can sum up this game really quick with just one name. Simone Fontecchio. Simone Fontecchio. I've been saying for a while, he shouldn't be playing anymore. He shouldn't be playing anymore. His are just his minutes are just too. He doesn't defend. He doesn't make enough of the wide open shots. He came in this game, the Pistons were up by double digits. By the time that he's subbed back out of the game, just minutes to go, they've lost a double digit lead, and they never get back up in front outside of maybe just 1 point for the rest of the game. Those Simone Fontecchio minutes, those 5 minutes, took Detroit Pistons out of position to win this game. Took them completely out of position. They were up by double digits. 5 minutes later, they're down. And then the Milwaukee Bucks go on to eat, and then they have to fight to get the lead back. And then Milwaukee goes on a run. And this is exactly what playoff teams do. Playoff teams know that it's going to be a game of runs, but they position themselves within the ebb and flow of the game to be able to control of the game. And the Pistons were never able to regain control after Simone Fontecchio minutes in the first half. He completely derailed these Detroit Pistons, and it's something that I've been saying for JB Bickerstaff. There comes a point where you have to accept what your rotation is and what it's not. Simone Fontecchio is no longer a part of this rotation, should no longer be a part of this rotation. Continuing to put him in there is just it's putting your team at a disadvantage. And at this point, you're going to have to put that on your shoulders, JB Bickerstaff and your staff, continuing to play Simone Fontecchio when he is clearly not up to the task of the role. Clearly. You came in, hit one shot, missed the next two, wide open threes, turnover, missed rotations. They go on a run, and next thing you know, there goes your double-digit lead, and you never regain control. Entertainment's, I've been wanting to come around, but he just hasn't found it this year. No, he hasn't. But there comes a certain point in time where, as a playoff team, you have to get into your rotation and say, these are our guys. And at this point, JB Bickerstaff should not be playing Simone Fontecchio to see if he can figure it out, to see if he can get into the pocket that he needs to be an effective player for this to win. He's just not. And at this point, there should be no more experimentation. There should be no more, let's see what he's got. Shoot, if that's the point, you might as well put it in Bobby Clinton and see what he's got, right? Skill has been that bad. Every one shot he makes comes at the cost of defensive rotations, inability to stay with different players who are on the move, can't keep them from getting into the paint, isn't really strong enough to keep bigger from posting him up, and isn't fast enough to keep smaller players or more athletic players from blowing by him. Then he misses wide open shots. He doesn't even give you the A.J. Green, Gary Trent Jr. type of minutes. He misses wide open shots, and then he's turning the ball over. He just comes. At this point, he should not be in the rotation at all. GT's Entertainment. Who's tightening the rotation, or is it going to be a series by series game? No, so the rotation needs to be tightened to look this. You have your starting five: Duran, Tobias Harris, Asar Thompson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Cade Cunningham. Off the bench, you have Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart. You have a 9-man rotation. You don't have 10. You have 9. And those extra minutes need to be given to either Asar Thompson or Ron Holland. Just literally what you need to do, or Cade Cunningham. Just between those three, This way you maintain size on the perimeter and the ability to attack the defense in transition. Even though Ron Holland was 0 for 5 in this game, I still liked the shots he was putting up. He had to get to the rim and collapse that defense. The only thing that I would now do if I be Bickerstaff is I'm having guys play off of him and say, hey, when he attacks the rim, because you know he can get there, I want you to do this. I want you to this way or flash to the ball in this way to give him other options in case he gets stuck. Other than that, I don't even mind Ron Holland and Asar Thompson missing at the rim. If they're getting all the way to the rim and collapsing that defense, that's more. If they're staying aggressive in transition, that's more than enough. Look, there's only one 7'2" Brook Lopez and 6'11" Giannis Antetokounmpo with a 7'7" wingspan. Yes, I get it. When you face the Knicks, you are going to have a 7'1", almost 7'2" Mitchell Robinson, who can kind of do what Brook Lopez does in terms of defending the rim. But I'll say this. I'd rather have our guys attacking that rim hard, especially in transition. That means to start Ron Holland and figuring out how to finish over those bigger guys than playing Sonny Fontecchio minutes out there, period. But something else that we have to also acknowledge is that when Simone Fontecchio was out there instead of Ron Holland or Asar Thompson or Cade Cunningham, the defense suffers. Those minutes, Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Simone Fontecchio were brutal, were absolutely brutal. Completely lost our entire lead. That double digit, I think it was like 11 or 12 point lead in less than 5 minutes. That was a shame. And when you are playing playoff level competition, you can't risk that. You can't play with those types of leads. Yeah, no, he hit the three as soon as he got in. And then you saw that he was late on a rotation twice, allowing them to get wide open threes. Gary Trent Jr. in the corner, AJ Green on the wing. And the next thing you know, he turns the ball over. They get a possession. They come down and score. Right? It's just one of those things. And then he misses a wide open three. And then they get the ball back. He single-handedly could run for the Milwaukee Bucks, who were in mud for the most part at the beginning of the game. Samurai, hello, bro. Where did you lose? Fast and Furious. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I didn't watch Fast that. Dwayne Pritchard. What is Asar Thompson giving us? He has very low skill, pretty soft in my opinion. I don't see this defensive stopper that we pretend he is. I'm going to be honest. Asar Thompson has lower. Look, I don't know. This has just been in the back of my mind. I don't know if he might be a little ADHD or he gets too hyped. And then now he's taking ADHD medication. And now he's too relaxed. But I'll say this. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know. But he has looked significantly more relaxed and kind of withdrawn almost. It could be on one side he's playing a lot more and he's learning how to pace himself. It could be that he's defending in different states, in different ways, where he's defending the point guard at times, he's defending a big at times. When he's defending a big, he has to defend the big differently. He's trying not to get into foul trouble, and so he's trying to move slower and be more methodical and intentional. It could be a lot of different things that's going through his head. He's only trying to figure it out, and I would say he is figuring it out. But if I'm JB Bickerstaff, I'm giving him more minutes so that he does figure it out. But here's the thing: even though he's not giving us as much as you may want, he's still an effective rebounder, an above average defender. His quickness, his feel for the game, the rotation that he's able to make. Did you see how many times he rotated off of his man on the perimeter to help hedge against Giannis Antetokounmpo to make sure he didn't get the ball and then was able to recover? To be able to use your athleticism to cover the floor in that way is of a huge benefit to the defense. And so whether or not Asar Thompson is getting us all the blocks and the steals that are so exciting to see, you saw in that second half, he was more than effective on the boards, getting out of it. If anything, I want him to be even more aggressive, but mostly aggressive in terms of initiating the offense. I told you guys, Cade Cunningham is most effective when he is scoring in the flow of the offense, more so than initiating it. If he's going to be our main scorer and he is dominating offensively, I'd rather have him off the ball. And when Asar Thompson is in the game with him, why not Asar Thompson run the point and have Cade off the ball and let him continue to be aggressive off the ball. I think it keeps everyone else involved and allows the ball to move more freely. In this game, after that lead got blown in Cade game, I noticed he was kind of in takeover mode. And takeover mode meaning that he was very ball dominant. And once again, I've always said this, he struggles to close when he's that ball dominant early in a game. He struggles to close. And down the stretch of this game, in those last 3-4 minutes, he maybe only had 2 points. He maybe only had 2 points. And so I want to see, in regards to your comment, Dwayne Pritchett, assumption, I would rather see him more assertive in the different roles, right? It's not about scoring with him. That he's Sean Marion, right? He's not somebody whose main impact is in scoring. He's a great positional defender who can guard on the ball and off the ball. I think he could have taken a little bit more risks in this game, especially because he wasn't in foul trouble. Would have liked to have seen him go for some more blocks up top. I want to get to that as well, in terms of some tweaks defensively for this game. I also want to get to some of these comments as well. Ed Robinson commenting to Dwayne, Thompson isn't a defensive stopper? Question mark. Yeah, no, for real. I think at this point it's pretty much a foregone conclusion and understood by the NBA. Asar Thompson is one of the best defensive players in the league. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. If anything, I wanted him in the game more down the stretch when Dennis Schroeder started to fade and he was struggling. I think I would have went with Asar Thompson. And this was something that I was going to talk about, is how do we go with our foundation, which is defense? How do we make sure that we are putting that first? And if guys can't get stops, we go with defense. I'm sorry, if guys can't get shots, we go with defense. No matter what's going on, we make a move, increase our defensive intensity and ability to create turnovers and get out in transition. That is how we try to assert ourselves more so than just getting more shooting on the court. But that's a small tweak in this game. I wasn't mad because Dennis Schroeder is also he's a high quality defender, and he actually did a really solid job against Kevin Porter Jr., who, make no mistake about it, Kevin Porter Jr. is like Michael Beasley of this generation. Yeah, at times he gets unfocused and, he can be kind of a head case, okay. His talent is undeniable. He's a problem anytime out there on the court. Kevin Porter Jr. is lightweight him. If Milwaukee doubles down on Kevin Porter, signs him to an extended deal, right? And then Doc Rivers and him develop a tight relationship, which Doc Rivers is known for, and mentors him, right? Damian Lillard mentors him, gets him in the race. Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be a problem for the league for the next 6-7 years. He's going to be all-star worthy. He's going to be one of those dudes who can close you out in a playoff game. He's that skilled and talented. So Dennis' game was actually really good for the Detroit Pistons because he was actually able to corral him a bit and frustrate him a bit. We'll get to some of these other comments. Samurai, when you turned away from your famous blogger Vin Diesel. Man, these Fast and Furious. Yeah, I used to get told I looked like Ludacris back in the day. What's going on, Kwame? The gamer was good, man. D-Dubs was good. What's going on, bro? Wagwan, brethren. GT's Entertainment. I with you. Hopefully, they should have got more calls, definitely, when we were in the bonus. But our free throws just were off. Facts. And this game, what I loved about this game, to that point, is that this was a playoff type game. The last two games have been playoff level games. And this team getting used to that intensity is really important because it's one thing. So I used to coach basketball. A lot of y'all know this. I used to coach some college ball, develop athletes, all that stuff. And one of the things that I would always tell my players is the intensity in which you practice is the intensity in which learns how to apply your skill. So if you practice, let's say at a level 6, or most people at a level 5 and 6, and then you get into a regular game and the intensity is at a 7 or 8, you're going to struggle to apply your skill. Well, the same thing when your game time intensity throughout the season is at a 7 or 8 for the most part. Maybe every once in a while, playing tournament gets to a 9, right? But for the most part, it's a 7, 7.5. Then you get to the playoffs and it's a 9.5, 10, 10, 10, 9.5, 10, 10. How you apply your skill is going to have to be adjusted. And what we're seeing is that Ron Holland and Asar Thompson are struggling, also learning how to apply their skill at this level of intensity. And so this is a learning curve for this team, and it's good that they're getting these games in now. Let me see, but definitely the free as well. And there was a couple calls, but I would say offensively, I think got away from uh, Jalen Duren in the second half. He got a little passive. I'm gonna be honest. Jalen Duren got a little passive. There was a couple times where he asked for the ball. He was right there in the middle of the key, and he kind of faded behind the defender instead of stepping up into that gap. And then the shooter was looking for him, and he like waved him in, like come on, step up. And then he came and set a screen instead of just flashing to the gap, look ball, and impose his will at the rim. D Dubs, we got Knicks in the playoffs, brother. Yeah, yes, sir. That's what it's looking like. We got the Knicks. It's going to be a very competitive series, but make no mistake about it, we're going to have to play big. Yes, defense. Yes, a lot of intensity. Get out in transition, but we have to play big. We cannot go small. That whole lineup, Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr. should be completely eliminated from the rotation against the Knicks. You're too small. You're too small. You're not going to be able to rebound enough. And in this game, that was something that hurt us as well. I don't know what the exact rebounding numbers are. It was probably something close. But more than likely, if I had to bet, I'd say the Milwaukee Bucks out rebounded. All right. Was good. Ed Robinson, what type of take is this? I have no idea what you're talking about. GT's Entertainment with the SAR, it seems like a confidence thing. Facts. It's a Dennis Rodman type thing where he's just gonna let go in the future. Watch. Ooh, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. GT's Entertainment. I don't think that happens. I do think that he's also in his second year and he's figuring it out. He's figuring it out. I think next year is going to speak volumes in terms of who Asar Thompson becomes. He is fading a little bit in the stretch of this series of this season, but I want to see what he does in the playoffs. I want to see if he's able to ramp himself up. I want that level 9 to 10 level intensity where he struggled at times to stay in control when he was playing at that level, and that's why I made that comment at the beginning. Like I don't know if he's maybe I don't know if he's ADD and all of a sudden he's taking his ADD medication and it's got him too relaxed. But I think finding that balance between being able to play on that edge, but also being able to play smart, right? And I mentioned that in the last video. How do you play fast but not rush? I remember rushing is about your mind, being able to not move faster than able to process. But at the same time, you need to go fast. You need to go hard, get out in transition, fly in for the rebounds. And so those are some things that I would want Thompson to apply himself more to. Let's see if he can get to double-digit rebounds every game, right? That would be a challenge I would have for Asar Thompson and Ron Holland. Just say, hey, see if you can get double-digit rebounds. See if you can grab us 3-4 offensive rebound game, 3-4-5 defensive rebounds, and get us right into transition. Both of those guys can bring it up and initiate offense. Neither of them needs to defer Cade or Dennis Schroeder when they get a rebound. They can accelerate the pace of the game and speed the ball up the court. And that's when Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart have to follow them in. Because here's the thing, Ron Holland got out in transition. Paul Reed saw that, or Jalen Duren saw that Brook Lopez is waiting under the rim. Well, here's the thing. If he's going to challenge Ron Holland or Asar Thompson at the rim, what does that mean? You have easy cleanup. And that was something effective that the Detroit Pistons did against the Knicks, where even though Asar Thompson was missing at the rim, he created offensive rebounding opportunities. In this game, the Pistons really didn't hit the offensive glass behind guys attacking the rim. And I think that's an adjustment made. Let me see. D-Dubs, maybe I'm a tech CBD oil or dim gummy sweets. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. He might be on those. Even though Ed Robinson, Asar has a 34.3 defensive per, which is literally second in the league. Facts. Facts. When he's out there, our defense is substantially better. It's not always about getting the steal or getting the block. How you play on the ball and off the ball. When he's on the ball, he contains better than anyone in the league. And when he's off the ball, he has a really good feel and understanding of the game, really high basketball defensive IQ. The only problem in the past, he would get a little overzealous. But I would rather have him overzealous than play too relaxed. But even then, he's extremely effective because of his defensive IQ. Ray Floyd, Asar just needs time. Facts. That's what I believe too. I really believe in offseason him good. Next year he will be a monster. I 100% agree. That is a great point, Ray Floyd. Smash the like button for me while you all are there. But it's just to say, I think Asar is figuring it out. Ron is figuring it out. But can you imagine how scary this team is going to be next year when Asar Thompson is consistently knocking down at least one or two threes a game? Ron Holland is knocking down consistently two or the game, right? Like that's going to be incredible next season. Plus Jaden Ivey, who's already shooting 40% from the three, he's going to be hitting 3 to 5 threes a game, and that's Jaden Ivey along with Cade Cunningham. It's going to be really interesting to see what this team looks like next season, fully healthy, with those athletes, with that size, with that speed, with that length. They are going to be incredibly hard to contain, and they're going to be a beautiful thing to watch. Robinson, Cade didn't even get the ball in the last 2 minutes. Facts, which is why we lost. Yeah, if anything, he wasn't selfish enough. But this is why I always say Cade Cunningham has to maintain scoring in the flow of the offense because he gets tired down the stretch. He gets tired down the stretch of games. If he doesn't have a way to pace himself throughout the game, by the time those last 3 minutes come and he's only playing on the ball, what you're going to see from him is he's going to start to defer and just stand around. But when he's playing off the ball, he immediately goes into the action. He immediately is either setting a screen, dribble handoff, posting up at the elbow, look to the rim to get to his spots. He's an immediate threat when he's off the ball. When he's on the ball, he's able to sit back. And here's the thing. They still got good looks. But it was one of those things where they couldn't. And they had a couple sequences where they made some really foolish fouls to Harris and Jalen Duren back-to-back, fouling Giannis on step-back jumpers. For what? He's not DeMar DeRozan. What are you doing? It was really foolish. But all this to say is there were a lot of small things that play into this loss. But this was a loss where there's going to be a lot to take away. There's going to be a lot to learn, including it's time to take some money for Tekio all the way out the lineup. He should not be playing anymore, period. The next game against the Bucks, I would go with a rotation that completely does not have money for Tekio in it. And I would come in with Ron Holland sooner and maybe rotate back in Asar Thompson sooner. Ray Floyd, I'm very impressed with Cade. He's learning a lot and doing a lot without consistent score. I do think he has consistent scorers around him. Tobias Harris did really well. Jalen Duren has been really stepping up his game offensively, though he needs to learn how to close for us a little bit better. But he's on his own learning curve as well. Malik Beasley stepped up, and he's consistent throughout this season also. But it's to say he's learning how to get to his spots. And it was something that I mentioned a lot, especially in spaces on X. I would talk about this, that he needs to get his go move. What are his spots? And he's beginning to get into that Kobe type mode where Kobe started doing like Jordan 2.0 when he came back from retirement. He just went right to the block. He went low. He's not trying to break you down all the time. He's going right to hot spots where he knows in 1 to 2 dribbles, he goes up. He's at 80 to 90% a shooter, and he becomes extremely efficient. He is figuring out, and it looks lovely. It looks lovely. But great point, Ray. Ed Robinson, Kevin Porter is nothing but a role player. Dude, any NBA player is capable of popping off. He has all-star potential. I'm trying to tell you, bro. If you know, you know. Kevin Porter Jr. is him. He's got talent. He's got talent. Like, he's for real. He is a James Harden. I don't want to call him a knockoff. He is James Harden's evil twin, right? No, he's James Harden's knucklehead nephew. That's who he is. Kevin Porter Jr. is James Harden's knucklehead nephew. If Kevin Porter Jr. had the intangibles, right? The patience, maybe some leadership, and some more kind of just maturity, really. And I think he is maturing in front of our eyes. This season has been a huge testament to that. I think him being out of the league for that year and then going to play overseas was a big kind of wake up call for him. He has a very interesting story that I'm pretty empathetic about. But it's to say that he has fought his way to get back in the league. And he is talent. He is talent, make no mistake about it. At 6'5", with that level of quickness and athleticism, finishing ability with both hands, that handle is as tight as can be. He has a rare combination of quickness and explosiveness with skill at his size, and he can shoot from three and the mid range with the floater. He is extremely skilled for somebody that athletic. He plays with pace and poise. He has the full package. He was somebody, if he was as mature as Cade Cunningham, we'd be talking about him as a multiple time All-Star. That's how good Kevin Porter is in terms of talent. He just doesn't have the maturity. D-Dubs, Asar reminds me of Rodman. Ron Holland reminds me of Corey Brewer. They're both nuisances for the opponents on defense. Wow. What do you say about being fast and quick? Yeah, I did that. Man, I think if you say defensively, that's who they are. But to say that Ron Holland is Corey Brewer and Asar Thompson is Dennis Rodman in terms of offense, I think would be a huge lack of respect for how they are continuing to grow in their future potential. I think they have a lot more offensive upside than either of those two had. Yeah, GT's Entertainments. Giannis and seem to like us, though. Yeah, and you're right. Once again, our team built for playoff basketball. I don't think too many players play better half-court basketball, playoff facts. Then Cade, that's why his field goal percentage has been up the last two games. It's way slower. Yeah, he's going to his spots. Cade is going to his spots. He's not just dribbling the ball around, trying to do whatever. He is taking his shots that he knows are shots that he can practice over and over and over, and he can literally shoot them at like 80%. At like 80%. And the next level for Cade really is once he understands he can get to those shots whenever, then he starts getting to the free throw line and giving them pump fakes. Gets to his spots. They're playing him too tight. Go up, right up into him. Right? Get to the free throw line. Get them in foul trouble. Back them up. But I think a big thing that I want to see is Jalen Duren. I don't think there's another level for Jalen. Like there's at least 3 more levels for Jalen Duren to get to. But I think the next level is him just being more offensively engaged. There are times where he just fades and he's content with just being a dribble handoff guy and a screen setter. And he's so much more than that. He's so much more than that. I think the next level is, okay, get that little 10 to 15 foot jump shot. And then the next level is how do you become a dominant force where you are consistently putting pressure on the defense. D-Dubs, it's official, bro. Knicks sealed 3rd and sealed 4th. Yep. What do you think? What do you guys think that we do in this last game against the Bucks? One of the things that I keep in mind is we have a week off after this last game. I wouldn't be shocked if we sit some guys, but I also wouldn't be shocked if we play some guys. All right? I wouldn't be shocked if we sit Cade. Wouldn't be shocked if we sit Tobias Harris. Isaiah Stewart has a little knee or something like that. He's looked a little athletically hampered recently, so I wouldn't be shocked if we sit him as well. Play Paul Reed, maybe give Bobby Clement some minutes, guys. Let's maybe sit Cade and start Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, give Marcus Sasser some minutes. Can we get a lot of minutes to Asar Thompson and Ron Holland? Give them bigger offals. Yeah, I don't care what we do with Fontecchio. Maybe play some Bo Clinton. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think that we do in this last game. Pacers, Bucks, first round again, like last season. It'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting series. This time, Pacers got home court advantage. Milwaukee's going to want their lick back for sure against the Pacers. But I also think the Pacers are better built to handle this Milwaukee squad. But I think this is a series that goes seven. Goes seven. Giannis is an absolute monster. He's an absolute monster, and I don't think they have a solution for him. Pascal can do his best, but I think it's going to take a lot out of him to try to slow Giannis down, and that can hamper his offensive production. Though Pascal normally does what Pascal does, but they're also better suited to handle Pascal with Giannis on him and Brook Lopez behind him. Dwayne Pritchett. I would rather take some of Dennis Schroeder's minutes. Asar is not strong enough inside. He'll be an asset playing the point and getting back on defense. I would like that as well. I would like that as well. And when he plays alongside of Dennis Schroeder, I want him to actually play point guard more. I just want more point Asar Thompson. When he's able to increase the pace of the game by accelerating the ball up the court and getting us into our offense, it just bodes for everything that we're trying to do. The slower we play, the harder it is for us to get shots. The faster we play, the more we create open shots. And Asar Thompson is one of the best players at doing that. I want to see him continue to get downhill, attack the rim. He needs to figure out how to score over bigger players. And he's not going to figure that out by being passive, nor is he going to figure that out merely sitting off the ball in the corner. He needs the ball in his hands, and I see him playing at the point a lot more. Shoot, I might almost like to see Dennis Schroeder sit this last game and just play Asar Thompson at the point the entire game. Give him 30 minutes. Uh, on what Sunday play on Sunday, give him 30 minutes playing point guard the whole time. I want to see it. Dib's teams are about 7 deep max. He runs the starting guys to the ground. Some of them are already battered before the playoffs. Which plays right into our hands to outpace and outmaneuver. Yeah, true. But he has also been sitting guys to an extent, and I think he's going to sit them in this last game. Plus, they're going to have a week of rest. So they're going to be pretty well suited to handle an up and down paced game. I think their weakness is going to be their lack of backcourt depth and speed on the perimeter, as well as Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns' ability to fold throughout this series, especially if the Detroit Pistons can mess around and steal game one, it can really, really put the Knicks at a disadvantage. And I think the pressure has the ability to get to them. Maybe not to Jalen Brunson, but definitely to Karl Anthony Towns. But it's going to Jalen Duren staying aggressive, Asar Thompson running that position. I need a lot of speed out there. Because when we can get them backpedaling and then our shooters are coming off of screens as the defense is backpedaling, there's no better way for us to free up shooters and to get us into the flow of our offense. But yeah, we are locked in. So Beasley shooting content threes over the 7-footers in the corner are good looks down the stretch. Glugs, brother, please stop this. Yeah. No, I mean, that was one time, bro. That was one time. Remember, he hit the shot right before then. Right? He hit the shot, from three coming out of the timeout. You know who he is. He's going to put the shot up. And sometimes when it's your job to put the shot up, you put the shot up and rest. He's also not somebody who's going to be the best playmaker and facilitator out of that type of play. And so if he didn't shoot it and he had his man plus Giannis Antetokounmpo closing out on him, he's going to try to play make with the clock winding down. Tough position to be in. But most of the time, those games don't come down to the one play at the end. They usually come down to that point based upon a series of plays that led up to it. D-Dubs, Kevin Porter Jr. is a good player. He actually suits Bucks better than Dame. Yes, blessings in disguise for them. Speedy recovery for Dame. I hope Dame comes back too. He's from the Bay. He's from Oakland. He's from the town. So mad respect to him. I hope he does come back soon. GT's Entertainment on Asar. So defense and showing true persons rather than the offense. Way more ball skills. Yeah. Okay, so that's what makes it this fun as well. So he's still growing. Yep. Do they rest the starters? Who knows? Who knows if they rest the starters? We'll see. But hey, it's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. This was fun. Get out of here. Got things to do tonight. Um, one last comment. Pacers Bucks got 7-game series written all over it. Facts, which potentially works in our favor if we beat the Knicks, which I believe we will. I fancy Pacers to beat the Bucks. I'm going to need Bucks to push them. Well, here's the thing. If we beat the Knicks, we're going to have the winner of the Boston and whoever wins in the play-in. Probably still going to be the Boston Celtics. But also, don't be shocked if a team like either Orlando or Atlanta pushes Boston to 6 or 7 games. But at the same time, I think Boston has been itching to get back to the playoffs. They're itching to get back to the playoffs. I don't think they're in their best rhythm, but they're going to be ready to win in the playoffs. So I think that we are going to end up having to see the Boston Celtics if we beat. But if I had to bet, I would say Knicks in 6 or 7. That's just what I'm throwing out there. But hey, as always, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. It's your man 100 Grand Ross with Never Stops. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get at y'all on Sunday. Peace.